of Patanjali Yoga Sutras. We were discussing about Ashtang Yoga as a means of liberation from suffering, from sorrow. The first part got interrupted because of technical reasons. So, this is the second part which continues from there. Now, these 8 limbs of Ashtang Yoga are essentially means of cleaning up and purifying the mind. When the mind is neat, clean, and pure, then we find sorrow disappears. All sorrow in the human mind comes out of impurities in the mind, and it is there in each one of us. And this sorrow, the seed of sorrow, is present in us right from birth. So, Patanjali has suggested this method of Ashtang, this yoga of Ashtang, by which step by step, gradually, we are able to completely purify the mind and make the mind as pure so that it is like a pure consciousness. And the limbs which he has suggested through which this can be done, the 8 means by which it can be done are Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratihara, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. Yama are the disciplines to be followed in society, the vows to be followed in society at all times. Niyamas are certain principles which we follow in our day-to-day life on a personal level. And asana is a sitting posture. When we sit in a particular way, which must be steady and comfortable. That is all he has said about asana. It should be steady and it should be comfortable. And once the asana, the sitting posture, is steady and comfortable, then you must feel relaxed and be at ease. And after being relaxed and at ease, he has suggested to meditate or think continuously about the infinite, about the ananta. And why the infinite? Because when you think of the infinite, your mind tends to expand, grow. Uh, and as the mind expands and grows, you will find that it becomes neat, clean, and pure. You will find the mind has the capacity to take in more knowledge. The mind has the capacity to take in more power. And mind becomes more intelligent. Mind becomes more, I would say, uh, having a willpower, decision-making ability. So that is why Patanjali wants us to reach the higher state of the mind, the higher mind, and not the lower reactionary mind, animal mind, emotional mind, but an intelligent mind, responsive mind, a mind under control. So he says, ki, once you sit in an asana, in a comfortable position, and once when you practice this meditation, this focusing on the infinite, these removal of impurities of the mind will happen. Once this is done, the next stage suggested is pranayama. Pranayama means to regulate the breath, to control the breath. When you control the breath, when you regulate the breath, we find the speed at which the mind works. There is a connection of the mind with the breath, and that breath control leads to mind control. So Patanjali has suggested pranayama in 4 forms by which one can regulate the mind, bring it under control, and therefore improve it. The fifth stage is pratihara. Pratihara is where the mind is so much under control that the senses also are under control. The sense organs are under control. And the mind now, instead of roaming outside, moving outside in the world, starts staying inside, within us. So out there, when the mind is present in the world of objects and people and other changes taking place, it picks up a lot of impurities. But when the mind is inside, then it is shielded from many impurities, and the purity of the mind, once developed, can be maintained. Dharana is the next one, which is focused on concentration. Once when we concentrate the mind on some particular thought or object or an image, the other thoughts in our mind start becoming weaker. They start losing their energy because now our attention and our energy is focused at one point, one spot. So the other areas where thoughts are stored becomes weak because the supply of energy has gone down. And by that method, we are able to purify the mind. Dhyana is taking it further. Dhyana means to concentrate the mind to such levels that the mind is purely focused on one point, is purely focused on one image, and for a consistently long period of time, without interruptions, without distractions. And it's like a flow, it's like a continuous flow of the mind to one spot, one point, without a break. And once this is done for a longer duration, for sustained period of times, then we reach the higher state, which is the state of the samadhi. As we enter samadhi and as we travel further into the higher states of the samadhi, we find that the mind by itself becomes smaller and smaller, insignificantly smaller. And once when we reach the ultimate final stage of samadhi, the mind by itself disappears. Now the yogi does not know who he is, where he is, uh, what is the name of the object he was focusing on, and he does not even know the time and the space in which he is present. So the mind completely disappears. And when the mind completely disappears, that in a way is the absolute purification of the mind because now there are no thoughts, there are no memories, there are no experiences, everything has disappeared. And once when everything on the thought part, uh, on the side of rajas and tamas disappear, what we are left with is essentially a form of pure consciousness. And this form of pure consciousness is nearly the state of the soul, the state of the Purusha, which is pure consciousness. And the cleaning up has reached its destination in a way. And now the mind is free of all prakritic elements which are causing sorrow. And now the mind is liberated from all sorrow. And now the mind is liberated from entire prakriti. So this is the ultimate state in which Ashtang Yoga can take us. So Ashtang Yoga is a process of cleaning step by step the impurities in the mind so that we reach a super clean, super fine state, a pak state, and we are able to raise our consciousness to the highest level possible, which is of pure consciousness. And this Prakriti and this Purusha or nature and the soul, both of them come independent of each other, and now there is no creation. Only Purusha is present in its pure form. Prakriti is present in its Mool Prakriti form, in the primordial state. It is not visible, it is unmanifest. So, this is the ultimate state in which each one of us has to go. And that is the process which Patanjali has explained to us in a very systematic and organized way. So, friends, that was Ashtang Yoga as a means of liberation for all of you. Thank you for joining. Um, Ashtang is a means, is a method, is a way by which we can achieve complete happiness in our life. And I hope and pray that each one of you learns Ashtang, practices it, and brings about permanent happiness to yourself, to your family, to members of the society, to the people of our country, and the people of the world at large. Then we can think, then we can look at a happy planet, at a people who are completely in a state of permanent happiness. And this happy planet, in a state of permanent happiness, can be the place which we can gift to our coming generations. So, with that purpose, with that goal in mind, we are conducting these talks on Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Patanjali is one of the most powerful sages from India. His work is considered to be very, very important in the field of spirituality and certain other fields. So I thank you again for being a part of this, seeing this, and hope and pray that you achieve permanent happiness in your life. And may God bless you all. Thank you so much. If you have the time, see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. again. God bless you.